Welcome to Katie Custom Woodworking. I'm Kevin Dunphy. We got a great video today. This video or picture video, let's use the word, it's going to be sped up a little fast. I did this house before I started really doing YouTube videos, but I think it's a great example of what it takes because everybody sees these before pictures or after, and they think, "Oh, no big deal. I can do that. Just get some paint." But you'll be surprised. You don't want to stick. You want to spend this much money on cabinets and finding out that you're sitting on quicksand or something. So, buckle up. We're going to show all the steps, and this is going to be a great video. When he bought the house, he bought it as it is from the bank. That means that there's no warranty or anything else like this. At this point, what I'm checking is to see what we're in for. We got to take a wall down, want to open up the stairs, and I have no clue how bad this house really is. We're looking here, nothing really rotten, just bigger spacing. See at the right, I added extra support to make the stairs not so bouncy. And right there, we're going to wait till the last minute to take out the sink, always, because water is the worst. But these cabinets were so cheap. They're melamine. They're like falling apart. And you can see the wire, like it was crisscrossed. Nothing was really stapled, just fished in on this old home. So it made a tough go of it for us. As I figured out, well, okay, this is what we got for the house, then we headed to the shop. We made the cabinets at the time, and I didn't realize what was going to happen. We made them all Baltic birch, and it was a godsend to do it like that. Right here in this picture, that's mahogany for the TV. Went right around. I'm getting that all set up and trying to dry fit it. And we also used the CNC. We did this carving. It's kind of like a step out. I was doing modern, but I wanted to really give it that personal touch, but not to be too overdone and look like carving. These are some of the panels that we did. We just Baltic birch with solid wood edging. That was it. A little bit of tint on those panels. They turned out great. We tinted it. I used the stain and sprayed it. This is the island. I used all maple on that. You can see there, just so you can get your legs in. Got a little cabinet there for the drawers. Now spraying the mahogany. I love, if you know this channel, we love mahogany. And there's all the doors. Simple, just stock plywood, and then I tinted it. I didn't get too cutesy on veneer, anything else like that. I didn't have the budget. So let's go back to the house and see what we're in for. Okay, so let's go rip up that floor. Yeah, easier said than done. They put strapping there. It was relatively level, not the greatest because you're wood. There was nothing rotten at all. So I used tongue and groove plywood. I love tongue and groove plywood. They have the electrical underneath, so you got to really be careful not to, go through the wires, to put it mildly. In here, you can see like the wires are like bunched up. It's really, really sloppy work, but that's because they didn't have the walls ripped down and it's harder to do it. So what I did is I put all holes there and sprayed it with spray foam at the end. Notice no crack there? Yeah, extra big shirts will do that. So anyways, I'll leave that one alone. It's a dad joke. Here's the spray foam we used, just 2-part. It was pretty decent. The only thing that happened was one canister went a little faster than the other, and you got to be careful with that. And I'm just spraying here. That's the last cross piece where I'll drop it in, and you can see all the holes. I just sprayed till enough popped out, and it worked. It worked great. Because I couldn't get underneath. There is a crawl space dug out. Some of it was sitting in like gravel, and it did work out really nice. Here, I'm insulating the ceiling. I got the steel beam in, and I use soundproof insulation. In an old house like this, when you're connected, I don't want any critters crawling in. So that's filled. And right there, I use spray foam on the rafters. Now, back to the shop. I started pouring the concrete countertops because they take like 30 days before I deliver it. So it's a bit of a mess. But the polishing, I did it an inch and a quarter, trying to make it so thick. Now here they had snowmageddon. That's why the snow's so high. It was brutal that year. We took out some rotten wood on the headers. We put some support and we put the new windows in. I went a little high on the header. And this was a connecting wall, and it was a mess. The other owner that built the house, I mean, they were lazy, was beyond words that they even touched that old wood. So we had to fix it. I made sure that nothing was ever going to come from the house that was attached. Now the drywall, this makes such a big difference. You can start seeing light at the end of the tunnel. And in that year, there was about 30 blue jays I saw in the backyard. It made me so happy. Spring was springing. And I got a fiberglass door. It was decent. I painted red. Stay away from the steel doors. That's only about $200 more. I was in charge of the plastering. That means I was doing it myself on this. We didn't have a budget, and I was very careful. And then I popped out the lights, but all the wiring was carefully placed beforehand. And now we can put hardwood flooring on there. We had a pretty sealed floor. I wasn't 100% sure with the maple at the end. I loved the wood, and we got a really good deal on it. And in hindsight, it was worth a lot of money. In that time, Kurt was living in that house. Yeah, when you looked at some of those pictures, yes, he was living there. And I think he's really happy at this point. He's finally starting to get some light at the end of the tunnel. I can cook, and I have a little bit of counter space. So everybody was feeling good. Spring was there. It's a mental thing too. You want to feel good about your house. And the wall unit, here we go. I'm dry fitting in the shop, making sure everything's good. Like I said, I always tell people if you're starting out or if you're a DIYer, dry fit things. I could have went the column straight down, but I stopped there to get a little more room. And then that was a bookcase, that went in that cubby hole. And, I liked it. It had a lot of character. It was the owner's request. He had books. He had certain specialty books. Now he wanted a hallway and a little seating area in a small place. I wanted to create a little bit of grandeur and modern. And I did inlay. What I was going to bring there before was pretty cheap. And then he kind of motivated me to get going. I had a lot of leftover mahogany wood because I do boat work, and we use a lot of mahogany and higher end wood. So there you go. Now, this was under the stairs. We created storage space there. I only used MDF. And Kurt is doing sweat equity. He worked a lot on this house and through his full-time job. I think, everybody was feeling good at this point when you get near the end. And it can be very psychological. And why I keep saying that. So you got to get yourself motivated. There's Bonnie, the Wonder Dog. I love that dog. That dog followed me on all the renovation, was never once in my way, just loved hanging out. And I really, truly miss that dog. Now, Bonnie's happy now. He's got a new couch. And here we are. Now, after that was done, he had to live through the bathroom. And the bathroom was connected to the other house, and they ripped it away. They had a giant gap there because they didn't know how to butt or put a little flashing or anything decent. So all kinds of air was getting in there from the neighbors. So I'm fixing it here. And I'm using a lot of spray foam sealing. I left a cast iron pipe in there because it was in really, really good shape. That's exhaust going up. I didn't feel I had to hammer that out and replace it. Right here, I'm just putting like heavy duty plaster there on the cement board just to cover those. And I use that red stuff, sealer, to make it waterproof. And then back to the shop again. And here, let's do a concrete sink. Why not, eh? It's only time. And this thing, I made it as one piece. And it was complicated from what I did. It's one of the more complicated ones I did. This is how the polishing starts. It's a mess. You're taking sludge off, trying to get it flat. I would have loved to have done it upside down, but I couldn't. I didn't want to flip it. And you can see the size. I just polished it. I like to give it that raw, like the concrete's coming through, nice look. And I was very happy with it. It was really hard to bring it up, to put it mildly. We did tiling. We don't do a lot, but we were super careful. And we did the bathroom in 2 weeks. Now the outside. This is the part. It was a beautiful fall day when we started, and at this point, I'm working really cheap, and I have to do other jobs to keep the shop open. So I really dragged out. I wish all the fall days were like this. It was not to be the case. We had some really crappy November Atlantic, wet, miserable days where everything you touch is wet. And somebody's been on Atlantic coast in that will know what we're talking about. We opened up the attic. We put a big window in there. It was good. At least it was egress, so anybody can climb out of there if you ever had a fire. And I started the stairs on the inside because I waited there. 'Cause like I said, I ran out of money. We did wires, and I used all maple molding throughout, and I loved the look of it. Now here's kind of a walkthrough. We're pretty much done at this point. We did that tiling. I hated it. I'll make sure you have 1/8 inch gap to get proper grout in there. It's really hard to get proper grout in there in white. It was a mess. I think, we spent so much time cleaning it up after, and we're getting so crazy about it. So that's their entertainment area. This is a small footprint. The house is a little less than 1,500 square feet with all 3 floors. So you're really trying to pack a lot in there. And then there's those doors that we saw before, and you can see the storage underneath. They got lots of storage, and not huge, but lots. They didn't want to put a hook into the bench there. He felt, the water dripping on it and everything else. But I did use 2K urethane. It's more than adequate to help it, to keep it from there. But that's their decision. And now I'm going upstairs, and the stairs came out pretty decent. I tried to go, I just followed the old ones. I didn't play around. The only thing is I end up a 1/2 inch taller because of the beam, and you can really feel that 1/2 inch difference on the step. Thank you for watching till the end. I know I'm going to keep asking. Please subscribe. We can do a lot of videos like this. I love doing woodworking, and prove the YouTube algorithm's wrong. And because I've been at it 35 years, I've done renos, I've done building, I've done a lot, and I've done mainly cabinet making, and they don't like it. They rather me be the tool guy or the cabinet guy or the plaster guy. No, no, no. One-stop shop right here. So please subscribe. Prove YouTube wrong that you love these videos, and thanks again. See you next time.